Welcome to Arcades. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. We've got one of our Splinter Twin combos in here, Wall of Kelp, which I'm really excited about, and we're on the play. And we've got some good card advantage too, Jace and Impulse. So I'm just going to lead off with Wooded Foothills, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we're playing Arcades. These strategists, Flying and Vigilance, whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Then each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it did not have Defender. So, pretty nice little commander. Always enjoy playing it. Let's lead off with, I guess, Waste. I think that'll work out. Yeah, let's lead off with Waste, and then just so we're not, I doubt we're going to run into a counterspell from our opponent, but let's just go and grab a Tropical Island, and yeah, let's go and go for Impulse. I think that'll work out. No, actually, if we want to get ahead on mana, typically with Arcades, you want to save your creatures for card advantage. But I think next turn, if we just end up going Wall of Kelp, we can start to generate some really good mana really quick, and then we can use Impulse and Jace as some card advantage source. I like that. So, Battle of Bant today. So if you're keeping score, let's get excited. Playing against Estrid, +2, untap each enchanted permanent you control. And we'll cover the, and then Kodama's Reach. All right, so we can Kodama's Reach for an extra land. Let's go for Reliquary Tower. So we can go for Wall of Kelp. That'll be, I think, sequencing. Let me make sure this is correct. So Wall of Kelp comes down. That'll allow Overgrown Battle. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Wall of Kelp's going to come down. You'll be able to create some wall tokens, which is very fun. Let's go for Kodama's Reach. Split this one probably down the middle. Since we do have double blue, well, we actually might need another blue source. So let's go Island, and let's grab another green source. That'll be a good option for us. So we do have some double white, but at this point, at least, having all blue in the hand kind of makes this decision a little bit easier, especially since we have the Wall of Kelp activation that we want to go for. So playing against Estrid, did the +2, -1, create a white or enchantment token named Mass attached to another target permanent. The token has enchant permanent and totem armor. Then for a -7, put the top 7 cards of your library into your graveyard. Return all non-aura enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then do the same for aura cards. And then, also, fun fact, if you're keeping score at home, Estrid can be your commander. So, pretty cool. Opponent's going to be able to get down, they do get down Enchantress Presence, which is going to allow them to keep up with our card draw of these defenders. So, all right. I guess we just go Harbor. And let's go Arcades. Yeah, that's going to be 1-2. And then we tap down white, which that's the only one we have to go for. And that's going to be one more blue. So, all right, that's going to be Arcades coming down. Now, one thing that we can do is whenever a creature defender enters the battlefield, we need to cash in a card draw. So we can go for Wall of Kelp if we want to. In fact, let's go ahead and push in with Wall of Kelp. I think this sounds pretty good. Yeah, because I think if we do anything, we'd rather go for Bonded Fetch. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go and push him for 3, because that's going to be a 2-2. Look at that. Oh, this is some good magic. Knock them down to 27, and let's go for Bonded Fetch, because the good thing about this is it's going to allow us to go for card draw. It's going to pump up Overgrown Battlement, and let's go and loot real quick with Bonded Fetch. Ooh, Panharmonicon. That sounds pretty good to me. So we get rid of, I think, Forest at this point. And then pass turn to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you're going to go to the wall where Arcades is built and look out and see the beautiful land, and you can see Wall of Kelp over there sucking people into it, whatever that may be, head over to MTGOTraders. We've got all the walls that you may want to check out, especially if you're going to renovate your house. Think about that. You go to your significant other and be like, hey, spouse, I'd like to turn one of our walls into a Wall of Kelp. We're like, okay, well, let's go check out MTGOTraders this Saturday and see what they say. There you go. That's there you go. It's going to make your house look really nice. The resale value would be very good. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off anything off the website. So if you haven't treated yourself, let's say you've been living in a Wall of Kelp and it hasn't been good for your morale, then head over to Ink Gaming. That way you can get yourself a nice playmat to make yourself a little bit happier. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits to help support cool content like this. And if you can't do that, Hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So our opponent's off to a beautiful start on as far as like mana rock lands. Gift of Paradise, Abundant Growth, Sheltered over there. That is some really nice double mana. Yeah, look at that Unbridled Growth. So they're 4 for 4 on that. They've got each little land gets their own option. So that's pretty cool. So we hit Seaside Citadel. Okay, so we can't swing the entire crew, and that's going to be 2, 5, and that's going to be 9, and that should be 12. We can go Jace and bounce a creature back, which I kind of think I kind of like that, or we can just go Impulse. Because either way, we're going to be able to survive outside of this. So, yeah, I think we just go, if we end up going Thran Dynamo, 1, 2, 3, 4, that'll put us on Panharmonicon. Let's see, let's go and push in first. All right, we're going to swing in. Let's swing in Arcades. Because we can't swing in Wall of Kelp. But if we're going to do some setting up, we may want to... Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to swing with Arcades and Wall of Kelp. We are giving up on the option to make a Wall of Kelp token. But at this point, we just want to get some damage in when we can. Just kind of squeak that damage in. And just make it not good for our opponent. So let's go for Bonded Fetch. We're going to cash in a card draw. Let's get rid of Seaside Citadel. That way, that's going to be a good land drop for us. We do have 3 creatures with Defender. So that'll be Thran Dynamo, and then we'll tap down one more Reliquary Tower. We go for Panharmonicon. That's going to allow us to get down Panharmonicon, and then let's go Jace, and let's do this. Let's go Jace, and let's just go for the Brainstorm ability because we've got Impulse to kind of shake it up a little bit next turn. So let's go for the +2. Yeah, they're going to be able to put a +1 counter on Starfield Mystic, but I think we're okay with that. Or do we need to bounce it back to their hand? Yeah, let's do that, just in case. Well, we don't really need Jace that bad, so let's just go for the... Actually, we can go with the Fate Seal option, too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's Fate Seal our opponent. A Song of the Dryads, definitely want to put that on the bottom. Whew. That would have been a bummer. And then pass turn to our opponent. So yeah, let's start ticking up on Jace. I kind of like this. We've got some options with Wall of Kelp. We can Panharmonicon down. It's going to be double card draw. So, if we have access to card advantage, might as well just use Jace as the Fate Seal option. So that was pretty good, being able to tap them down, or at least get rid of that Song of the Dryad. So we've covered everything. As far as this Arcades deck, I did make a few changes. There's just a few cards that I cut. We put in the Crashing Drawbridge, which gives everybody haste, which is a wonderful wall option for this deck. Highly recommend it. Outside of that, I think pretty much everything's the same other than just, very small changes here or there. This is beautiful start to Arcades. Our opponent hasn't gotten down any sort of, let's see. So that's going to be Estrid coming down. They go for the +2. Ooh, that's a ton of mana. Are we in? I've played against our opponent. Is this going to be the curse card? Please don't let it be curse. Oh, Overwhelming Splendor. Oh no, yes, I was worried about that one. Okay, so we still have a bunch of 1/1 dudes that we can still swing in our opponent. We need to deal with. We need to get rid of that bad boy. Pretty bad. So we'll see what we can do. That's not good. I've played against our opponent against this deck, and they always have Overwhelming Splendor, and it drives me nuts. All right, so I'm gonna get Oath of Gideon down. We can dig with Impulse, but we'll see. It's a bummer. It's a big bummer, man. The only thing we can really do is just kind of Tetsuka our way out of this one, and that's going to be a very long way out of here. And man, I don't. No, we got Rift in here. So if we can find ourselves in this iconic Rift, that'll help us get out from underneath Overwhelming Splendor. So we may have to do a little bit of setting up. Now, if we do hit Tetsuko, that does allow us to basically just have unchecked answers. They're going to swing in that Jace. That's fine. Come on. Jace doesn't care. All right. So we run into Misty. I think at this point, we go for the Brainstorm ability. Look at the top 3 cards, especially since we do have Misty. These... Mana Crypt does help, but I think at this point we just put Plains back on top, and then Ghostly Flicker, which doesn't really do much with that Overwhelming Splendor. Yeah, might as well just go and put that back on top. So let's have Misty come down. Let's go and crack Oh, and we can't activate abilities. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay. So that's going to be, I was thinking we could shuffle it away, but I forgot. Yeah, we can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So that actually shuts off our lands, which is a little bit of a bummer. So let's go for this. Teferi's Protection, Ghostly Flicker. I guess at this point, we just honestly go for Temple of Mystery. We already did make the lane drop for the turn. Yeah, I guess Temple of Mystery gives us a scry option for next turn. Okay, so we're gonna grab that Temple of Mystery, put those on the bottom in any order, and then I guess we just pass the turn. Yeah, Overwhelming Splendor, man, that is a card right there. You can see how good of a start we got off to with Arcades, but unfortunately, um, yeah, that Overwhelming Splendor is pretty hard. It's a pretty strong curse option from our opponent, and then we're gonna get pretty close to that -7 until next turn. So we'll see what's going to happen after this. So, okay, so we got a Growth the Enchantress coming down. And now if we can rip into Rift, I don't know if we win the game, but we can generate a ton of card advantage. But I'll definitely be adding a little bit more artifact and enchantment destruction, especially against Overwhelming Splendor, because that's you can see where having your creatures turn into a bunch of 1/1s. That's not that good. So, all right, so our opponent's going to be cashing in some card draw this turn. So I'm going to go and let them just kind of cycle through this turn, and then we'll jump back into commentary. All right, so our opponent's going to go, they're going to get Omniscience down, and so, yeah, and I rolled through that stop sign too. So I think at this point, I guess we'll let them play it out, but once we get to our turn, yeah, I'm just going to go and scoop this one up. We get hit with Overwhelming Splendor. They're going to get it from here. They're going to have tons of card draw, and they're going to be able to draw this one out. So good game to our opponent. You can definitely see if you're an Estrid fan what you're capable of doing with Estrid. This is some pretty good magic from our opponent. But yes, we will yield to the value scoop. There's nothing wrong with the value scoop. You know, that's it's with you're getting free spells and the 2 card draw that accompany those spells. Eventually, they're going to win from card advantage. So good game to our opponent. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get Arcades going because of Overwhelming Splendor. But you can see, I mean, this was pretty good. We had the Overgrown Battlement, which gave us some pretty good mana. We get Wall of Kelp coming down, and then we get ourselves an Intruder Alarm, and we're going to be able to combo off with a bunch of Kelp tokens. But that's how magic goes sometimes. We got splendored. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Ayara's Castle. And as far as our opening hand goes, a little bit clunky, but we've got Soul Ring and Ancient Craving, which kind of makes it a lot. But yeah, we'll keep on this one. And we do have a Abhorrent Overlord, which I have yet to be able to cast this. So I'm excited to see how many little mono black tokens we can get on the battlefield. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, with Soul Ring and Ancient Craving, this makes this hand a lot better because we're looking at turn 4, cashing in some card draw, which will be a lot of fun. Hey, good luck. Just played against our opponent. So they were playing a sliver, one of the slivers. I can never remember their names. There's so many of them. But one of the 5-color sliver legends, and our opponent kind of got a little bit clunky on their mana base. So I don't know how I'm going to splice the videos together so far with the Ayara. So if you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then if you want to see a slow roll, not a slow roll, but a sliver deck not make their land drops, be on the next lookout for the spin the wheel. But yes, welcome. Hope you're excited for Ayara. And we'll jump into our another swamp. Okay, so I'm kind of doing okay on swamps, but we'll still at least go for that. So let's have Soul Ring enter the battlefield and then pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Ayara. Whenever Ayara or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Then for an activated ability, sacrifice another black creature, draw a card. Playing against Thrax, which it's been a minute since we played against Thrax. It's a pretty fun little commander to play against. Let's go Swamp, and that'll put us at 5. We'll have to discard down to hand size, but we can get rid of a swamp. We've got a lot of swamps in our hands, so we're going to cash in 3 card draw, and not the best, but yeah, that's. I was hoping to catch a little bit more tokens, but well, hey, we're going to make it work. So let's get rid of this 1 swamp, and then pass the turn over to our opponent. So, play against Thrax. Haste whenever Thrax attacks. Defending player sacrifices a creature. Then, whenever a player sacrifices a creature, you may put a +1 counter on Thrax. So, we do have Murderous Rider, so we're going to be trying to hopefully be dealing with Thrax with Murderous Rider whenever that comes down. Because, yeah, if you don't have an answer for Thrax, the game kind of... ooh, Read the Bones. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we're going to go Read the Bones. That's going to be 1, 2... Just going to keep digging into our library. That's what we're looking for. Oh, and the Phyrexian Arena. Charcoal Diamond on the bottom. Phyrexian Arena on top. Unfortunately, ooh, and then Yawgmoth. All right, so we can't go for... Yawgmoth. There's nothing in our opponent's graveyard, but I still like trying to get as much stuff out of our hand as possible. So let's go Lightning Greaves. We'll have that enter the battlefield, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We could go for a Ayara, but since we just don't really have any ways to generate a lot of tokens right now outside of just casting a Horn Overlord, we're probably going to end up going for Phyrexian Arena. That way we can set ourselves up, because typically when you're playing against Thrax, Thrax is a 7-mana commander, and they've got their own Phyrexian Arena. They tend to be a little bit more control style, so I kind of like us going for dueling Phyrexian Arenas. That's going to be a pretty good thing for both of us. So once they pass it back over, and if they are running any sort of reanimator, we can hold on to Bojuka Bog to make sure that there's no funny business over there. So anything else? We do need to tap down for at least two mana. We might as well just go and make the swamp land drop. So it's going to be Phyrexian Arena. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be Phyrexian mana. We do have 3 mana left over. We can't go for Yawgmoth, so we'll just go and pass the turn back over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to tour Ayara's castle and maybe get sacrificed by Ayara so we can cash in a card draw and make the entire castle happy, hey, head on over there. You can tell your family about it at your funeral, and then everybody's going to be really happy that Ayara sacrificed you. So head on over there. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order off anything off the website. So if you want to treat yourself, make sure that you treat yourself. And you can also search Jolt539 to see some of my cool playmat designs. Let's discard a... Let's get rid of a swamp. Yeah, that'll work. We'll get rid of a swamp. We're going to hold on to Bojuka Bog. If we just keep hitting swamps and playable lands, it's just nice to have it in the hand versus not hitting something. Now, we do have Murderous Rider, so will end up getting Murderous Rider, because if we get Nicol Bolas to flip, that's not good for us. Not at all. So we want to make sure old Nicol Bolas stays. Oh, I know what we can do. We can Murderous Rider in the Bojuka Bog to make sure that there is officially no funny business. That'll be pretty good. So, yeah, be sure to check out Ink Gaming. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits to help support cool content like this. And if you can't do that, hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So there we go. Okay, so we run into double swamps. Let's go. Yeah, opponent's got 1 mana down. So we're going to cast Murderous Rider. No, Swift End on Nicol Bolas. 1, 2, and then extra Soul Ring. All right, so it's going to pop Nicol Bolas. Yeah, because if Nicol Bolas flips, that is not good for us. So let's follow it up with the Bojuka Bog, just a punch in the face and punch in the gut to get rid of it. We probably could have held on to Bojuka Bog a little bit longer, but if they can reanimate that and they've got the mana, Nicol Bolas will win them the game without a doubt. So, and then anything else... We've got Murder. Yeah, we can just go and cast Murderous Rider. That'll be pretty good. And then double blacks. That way, we at least have a body on the battlefield. That does give us a little bit of extra devotion to Overlord, which is pretty nice. And then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So it's officially free time. We can have some fun. Now, if you want to check out Ayara, I did release Ayara on MTGOTraders last Friday. So head over to MTGOTraders YouTube channel, check it out. Really fun gameplay. I kind of overthought a line of play during the middle of the video, but other than that, it's a wonderful video to watch. So you get to see some cool carrying action, which is always pretty cool. But yeah, this is the first game I'm putting out on the channel. So as far as the actual deck itself, I wanted to build that same core concept mono black deck that I always build. We're just getting a lot of not life gain, but paying a lot of life, going for a lot of card draw, and then Thrax is coming down. So let's see if they're going to swing in, because they can make a sacrifice Murderous Rider, which will put it back into the library. Okay, all right, so they're going to sacrifice Thrax. Hopefully we can run into board wipe or something. That would be pretty good. So we're going to sacrifice Murderous Rider, and then we're going to put it on the bottom of the library. And it's going to put a +1 counter on Thrax. And that's going to be 7. So we're looking at a couple turn clock. Now, we do have a few different bodies. We can go for Yawgmoth and then potentially go for a Horn Overlord. If we just get a few more bodies on the battlefield, we can just basically kind of fog this Thrax out. So even if we don't run into a board wipe, that would help if we do, or at least some sort of spot removal. And they're going to get their own Bojuka Bog. So we're making some pretty good trades right now. I kind of like this. So let's see what we run into for the turn. We got the card draw and Phyrexian Arena. And okay, well, Bitter Blossom kind of does help. And we're down to 14. So if we're going to end up going for Ayara, we can almost go Yawgmoth and Ayara, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Make sure we tap down for Ayara first. We're gonna have Ayara enter the battlefield. We're gonna go Lightning Greaves on Ayara. That's gonna make them. The good thing is it's gonna put us back up to 15. So let's put Lightning Greaves onto Ayara. We're gonna go for Yawgmoth. Yeah, I think that'll be good. As much as I don't really want to sacrifice Yawgmoth, at this point, we're going to be kind of on the Abhorrent Overlord game plan to kind of fog us out. So as long as we just have 8 body on the battlefield, that should be good. I'd like to have a few extra creatures, but worst case scenario, let's say our opponent has some spot removal, and we know that we're going to lose a Yara to Thrax swinging across. Either way, we're going to be able to at least cash in a card draw by sacrificing a Yara to Yawgmoth, or Yawgmoth is going to be the sacrificing thing to Thrax. Now, we will end up taking another hit that will put us at 14 commander damage, but hopefully we can kind of stabilize and kind of push from there. But yeah, as far as the actual core concept of the deck, this is just a really grindy. You're going to make your land drops, you're going to get a lot of card draw, and we want to get a lot of tokens down. So we're running Bitter Blossom effects. We do have protection from white and black. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. Running a lot of token effects. Bitter Blossom. We've got the what is that? Dreadhorde Invasion. Yeah. That's exactly what it's called. Dreadhorde Invasion. So we have these options to basically just get these really cheap creatures down. And then kind of the finishers for the deck. We have an Abhorrent Overlord and Carrion, which is a very, very fun thing. So we're going to go ahead and sacrifice Yawgmoth. That way we can just keep a Ayara on the battlefield. Now that will be 10. That's going to be 17 total commander damage. But once we go for Abhorrent Overlord next turn, because that's going to be 1, 2, that's going to be some really nice devotion, especially if we have enough mana to get down Bitter Blossom 2. I think, because it's going to be 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's going to be just enough mana. So we'll actually get an extra Harpy token, which will be pretty nice. So at the beginning of our upkeep, we do have to sacrifice a creature, but hey, we're going to gain a little bit of life total, kind of help us stick around on the battlefield. So even if we don't win, this is going to be a pretty good indication of what we're trying to do with the deck. So yeah, definitely wanted to make it more of a control-y style build, and that's what we're going for. All right, so get the Phyrexian Arena, run into a lot more swamps. So if you're a fan of swamps, boy, this is the game for you. Let's have Swamp come down. Yeah, let's go. Let's make sure I did that right. So this is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, so we'll go Bitter Blossom. We're going to get some life loss going, and then we'll go to Abhorrent Overlord. Oh yeah, let's get some good devotion. All right, so we're gonna have an Abhorrent Overlord into the battlefield. That should be 8 devotion, and that's really gonna buy us a little bit of extra time to kind of stick around. So we're gonna have look at these triggers. Let's go and always yield to these triggers. Oh yeah, that is absolutely wonderful. So there we go. Let's put them down to 18, puts us back up to 14, and then at this point, I think what we'll do is we'll simply just gonna go and pass the turn over there. Yeah, because what we can do is we can just sacrifice a Harpy. Now, they do have protection from black and from... Oh, yeah, I just completely forgot about Sword of Light and Shadow having protection from black, and we're mono black. So, yeah, this is a good game. All right, so yeah, good game to our opponent. I just now realized that. So this is a good showing of what we're trying to do with the Yara. Yeah, sometimes we get wrapped up in, especially when it's a brand new commander, and you're trying to... if it's a new commander, you want to showcase some really cool action. We got to showcase what a Yara is capable of. We went to 14, went to 17. But yeah, with the Sword of Light and Shadow, they're going to have that protection from black, and they're going to be able to close it out with commander damage. But this was a pretty good showing of what we're trying to do. Just kind of, you can see we got all the way down to 5, and then just casting Abhorrent Overlord. That's going to allow us to cash in some... really nice life gain, really attack our opponent's life total. Then let's say you have something like Conjurer's Closet, which is definitely in the deck. You Conjurer's Closet on Abhorrent Overlord. That is some good magic right there. So, but they're gonna be able to get it. I don't know what else they're gonna try to end up going for, but yeah, this is mono black, and so when they've got Sword of Light and Shadow over there, it's hard for us to do anything about that. Okay, so they're going to go Fiery Confluence, 2 damage to each opponent, and destroy target artifact. Okay, so that's going to pop a Yara. That's going to put us down to 10, and that's going to be exactly just enough for Thrax to swing across. So we're going to let them come down. We don't have any free mono black spells. So even if I want to cash in a card draw, it's not going to do anything. So we'll go and sacrifice a Abhorrent Overlord. That's going to be an extra counter on there, and that will be total, actually life total damage and commander damage all in one hit. So... There we go. Maybe could have held on to Murderous Rider and not pop Nicol Bolas, but if Nicol Bolas sticks around and they go for any sort of that massive amount of card advantage, it is really hard to stop that. So good game to our opponent. Definitely good showing of Thrax, and we got a pretty good showing of Ayara. Didn't get the win, but this is the style of game that we want to play. We want to just kind of slowly grind it out and go for those activations and some life gain and have some fun. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.